Hi, this is Pastor Bob Lieb. I'd like to present today my chart to you, the 12 stages of man or the three natures of man. Somebody asked me to do a video on this to explain my chart. I believe once you understand what I'm saying, it might be very helpful to you. I call my chart the 12 stages of man or the three natures of man for a reason. And what I do here on my chart is I do nothing more or less than teach what Jesus taught. Jesus taught that a man must be born again. He must be born from above. So this is all about a birth. Jesus Christ brought it down to a birth, and so do I on my chart. Life begins at conception. There's definitely life at conception. And a birth begins a living soul. When I say that, the combination of the flesh and the spirit from God, the spirit that God gives to man, produces a soul, just like Genesis 2:7. It says that God made man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And the proper way of saying it is that man became a living soul. Man doesn't just get a soul over here at conception. He becomes a living soul at birth. And what's confusing, and I hope you spend a little bit of time with my chart, please do, and you'll see that what I'm saying is biblical. What's confusing is right over here where a man that dies leaves a fully developed body, but clearly that body isn't moving. His spirit and his soul is taken out, if you see that right here, and it leaves a dead body. On this side of my chart, what's confusing is that this baby in the womb, the word fetus is here. Fetus means a young one. This young baby in the womb is moving. That makes it confusing. But please don't confuse the movement with the fact that it's a living soul. It's living, but it didn't become a soul yet. If you study out my chart, I think it'll be helpful to you to understand this thing we call life, and when man becomes a living soul. One of the most important things I did is right here at the top. Again, this chart is 17 years old this year, and so it was a cut and paste. I did this many years ago, like I said, and I cut and paste all of these little pictures and little pieces of the chart together. And what this says here, it says, like a man's spirit and soul leave man at death, which leaves a fully developed body, so too at this stage you have a fully developed body that is living, totally dependent on the mother for life, in anticipation of birth, where it receives a spirit and becomes a living soul. The thing that's confusing is from conception to birth that little baby is living. Here, it's clear that it's dead because there's no movement. Here there's movement, and there's growth. If you look in between here, you'll see the word growth. There's growth, but it didn't quite become a living soul yet until it breathes on its own for the first time ever right here. And it's the same way, friends, spiritually. Until you're born again and breathe on your own spiritually, Jesus likened the Spirit to wind. Okay, the breath of God. And that's where Jesus brought it down to. That's the common denominator, if you please. The breath of man and the breath of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. If you have any questions, please contact me through my email. Have a blessed day now. Lord